Yuppa.
Guys, welcome back to Unmotivated. I have a special guest today. It's my guy, Parker Lee. Now, listen, we've got Maul as a co-host and Jamarcus sitting on the mic as well. Parker's a guy I met through a guy named Azu at a gym, and he goes, man, listen, you guys got to meet each other, man. You guys are both well-versed, healthcare, et cetera, et cetera. Parker's, you about 34 now?
Yeah, actually.
34, and he's accomplished a shit ton. So I love people who accomplish it. I love people on a mission, like a dog on a bone trying to figure stuff out. But even more importantly, in those 30 years, and definitely probably the last 10, he's built quite a few businesses, participated in a lot of growth in terms of companies, friendships, relationships, all that stuff. So we can get 3 episodes out of his ass today and keep it going, man. But go ahead, man, if you wanted to tell him a little bit about what you do and, where you're from and how you got to Texas, all that stuff, man. Enlighten them.
Yeah, originally from South Florida. As far as where I am today is very different than probably where I was when I met you.
Yeah.
I was very much still focused on being a entrepreneur, building businesses with my own 2 hands, right? And nowadays, I spend a lot more time helping others fix their business, investing, so leveraging my money and capital, my relationships to really, make my efforts. I don't know how do you say compound a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that comes with the journey. So I guess to talk to that is I have built businesses, had good successes, some failures, as we all do, and what I've seen that my efforts are more valuable is just through that leadership or through that helping hand, and if I can just play where I'm good at, that's what I will continue to do. It's less headaches, as we were talking about a little while ago, right? Less headaches, less stress. I've got kids, so my life is, it's about being easy and building wealth. Some balance in there somewhere.
What would you say is one of your, and we're going to get there to like the process you got to get to exiting some things and losing some stuff. But guys, as I said, this is a big business guy right here. And it was funny because in one of our last episodes, Maul talked about dialing in where his skill's at.
Yeah.
A lot of times you think you got to do everything when in fact you could just connect things and get money off of that, continue to leverage relationships, give them insight, move on. And you're like, oh, that was a nice check. And I didn't have to manage 15 people.
Dude.
No payroll, no.
Hey, man, the best checks are the ones that just show up. Like you put the work in and maybe like last year and, you massaged it, you gave somebody some knowledge and then the check shows up, it's like, this is nice. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
So what's the biggest company you built and how many employees did you manage and how hard was it?
Yeah. Do you want to know revenue-wise?
Yeah.
Okay, so revenue-wise would be a lab that I built, and really it took very little time, like in 2 years.
What kind of lab?
It was a diagnostic lab. We focused on really blood, and this was, I will be honest, for everybody watching, this is a very unique opportunity. Like, people say you catch lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything was right. The market conditions legislatively, the market conditions here in North Texas, just everything made sense at this exact moment in time. Not to say that you can't repeat this in other businesses, but in this particular business, it will never happen again. It will never happen again. Okay, so all with that disclaimer, the laboratory was very narrowly focused on blood, so diagnostic. We really at that time focused on wellness. It was a market opportunity because we were in this weird transition from Obamacare and the previous structure of insurance and payer plans, right? And then on top of that, before Obamacare really got a chance to like fully implement and they build the other legislation around it, then Trump came in and started stripping things away, right? Left holes in everybody's payer plans. So all their policies, all their everything. And so as a result, there was an arbitrage opportunity for ancillary providers. So if you ever heard of compound pharmacies, If you've ever heard of out of network, out of network laboratories, that was us. Yeah. Yeah. Now we did it in a way that kept us out of jail. As I'm sitting here with you today, I can't say that so much for some of my other counterparts. So long-winded answer, but to be concise, I built a diagnostic laboratory that focused on wellness panels. We worked with a lot of physicians here in the DFW market. What I would say that what helped us was that I built kind of a system, if you will. So in addition to the laboratory, we went and acquired a pharmacy. We went and acquired a surgery center. And that service model for physicians really made it easy for them.
It's like a vertical market, basically.
Correct. Yeah. And great point, right? We went vertical with the market. So
hey, one-stop shop. Like, go here, go there, and go there. That's insurance too, though, right?
Yeah, it's all insurance. And we increased the patient lifetime value for us, but also for the physicians. So they were able to come do procedures at our facilities, right?
Oh, shit.
They were able to then retain their customers in certain ways. We offered certain services that they wouldn't ordinarily be able to do, and that was their incentive to do business with us. So it wasn't like we weren't exchanging money by in that sense. I was doing what I'm good at, right? Which is I was building something for myself that they would use as they needed it. But for them, the value with working with me was I would give them my insights, right? And so as a result, it blew up. And then eventually that exit, I can't disclose because I do have documents, and the buyers are still here in Texas operating all that stuff. And so as a result, we had a great exit. I was even able to negotiate some awesome terms because I exit when I tell you the perfect time.
What was it doing in revenue though? Can you say that?
Yeah, revenue wise, we had like 120 million trailing 12 months. Yeah, it was pretty good.
So in about 2 years' time, you built something to do $100 million in revenue.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, it was absolutely insane. And when I tell you, like the first 8 months it was total trash, right? I was doing things myself that I probably shouldn't have, and not like illegal, just like there's no reason why I should have been the one getting certified to sort pee and blood and all the nasty things that go through a lab.
Yeah, but that's entrepreneurship, man. Yeah. Like shit.
It is. But it's still gross.
Hey, that makes sense, man. Listen, bro, the other thing too is I love about Parker's got a level of calmness to you.
Yeah.
And a lot of that calmness comes through, I think, wisdom by way of dealing with the bullshit.
Yeah.
Early on, so you go, hey, what do you guys need the most help? Because people could get real frantic in a room when they're not a high level thinker, right? Yeah. High level thinker come in, what you do, and you say, hey guys, just do this. Yeah. They go, oh shit, I didn't think of it that way. Yeah, that's why I'm in charge. Yeah.
No, like it's a strength and a weakness, right? Because I am definitely like a 30,000 foot view person. Yeah. I really struggle to get down into the nitty gritty, which is both fortunate and unfortunate, right? Like it's fortunate for where I'm at right now today, but previously it was really a struggle because when you're starting your entrepreneurial career, you need to be detail oriented, and I struggled. It was hard, with the first lab, I could probably have done way better numbers and scaled faster, and even been able to navigate it through the legislation changes. Yeah, had I been that detail oriented person, But I have been trained. I have been passionate about. I have been just all dialed in on executive level strategy side thinking, and that's been my focus. So that's helped me, but it's also been a weakness is the answer, right?
Well, that just means you got to find a good operational specialist to read all those fucking dot I's cross T's.
Yeah, and to that point, like in all the businesses that either I still retain or that I focus on when I invest, it's all about the operator. I have to focus on who is operating the business. And, I wish I would have learned that earlier. Yeah.
I've learned that Marcus does a good job there, but I know for a fact, kind of like you, I can see scale very quickly. Yeah. Challenge is I'm not crossing every I, dotting every time. Like, let's just go do this. It's like, well, you can't do that. Yeah. You can't do it that way, at least.
No.
Well,
who said?
Yeah. That part right there. I said, I ain't see no sign. Yeah, right. I ain't see no stop sign, motherfucker. Stop now. Just don't do it.
Yeah, for sure.
What would you say is then the hardest part about even managing executives? Because you come in even now from a consultant standpoint,
Yeah.
and help these people see maybe the holes in their workflow.
You know, the hardest part about leading other executives is like the ego, right? You know, managing that, and it's tough because like even as consultants, we have ego, or like venture capitalists. You know, we believe that we know a lot, you know, especially when you're dealing with a new entrepreneur.
Tell me you know who Marty Khan is.
I don't. Oh,
Fucking
it sounds familiar.
Don Cheadle in that fucking TV show on HBO. When I tell you, if you watch one episode, you be fucked up. You be fucked up because
Yeah.
he's a fucking consultant. He's fucking brilliant,
No, okay.
and
yeah.
all he does is solve problems. But that's just what I
got
thought
you.
of.
Yeah, no, I mean it's true. You know, with when it comes to like seasoned executives,
Yeah,
a lot of times they're on different ends of the spectrum. You have the guys who are very open to learning, right? And this I kind of think applies to everybody, right?
yeah.
But you have people who are very open to learning, very ready to make change in their business. That typically comes either when they're at the height of success and they are like kicking ass so good they don't know where to turn to dial it to the next level,
Yeah.
right? Or when they are rubbing their last two pennies together. Like there's no real place in between, you know, because the ego will get you.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then when you look at venture on the venture side where I do my investing, a lot of entrepreneurs are, you know, they are either so hyper focused on what they built or what they're building that it's difficult to see like the broader picture. And so, you know, where I invest is a little bit downstream from revenue production. You know, my focus is to develop a product, something that could be deployed at to the market.
Yeah.
So I'm less concerned with revenue as I am, or with profitability as I am with shipping it. Right, get the product out there and like produce something.
That's operations 101. It's funny because, you know, I told you we started the dog sub company. So, you
Yeah,
know, I'm a black guy doing
congratulations.
business to be. I appreciate that. Black guy doing business. So, to be frank and saying, niggas would be like, yo, man, can I Venmo you for some puppy
No.
blocks? And I'm
Cash
like
App.
this, my man, I don't ever see it. I found a one-stop shop where it gets manufactured, it gets produced. They can ship up to 40,000 units out. I don't see it. It don't work that way. It's not in my garage, homie. This is a real business. I see my fucking stamp thing go off. That means the shit got shipped.
Yeah.
I said, and we've got, you know, Jamarcus handles some of the problems that come when it's like, oh, we got a shipping problem. Okay, then what does he do? He talks to Steve and his team, because my first rule is if I want to scale up, which we want to do, then you go, how many, I'm not going to be in this house packaging fucking package. It's not happening.
No.
I need to keep thinking and dealing with the dogs, which are a part of the brand, and then continue to use the dogs to deploy, as he said, you know, puppy blocks and fortified and fat blocks and other stuff we got coming, gut to butt. But I can't. I'm not shipping. It doesn't even make sense.
You know, like, yeah. So what I would say about that is you're right. Like knowing your strengths is so important. You know, it's crazy that if you can't figure that part out, you will struggle.
Man,
Now,
some people want to do everything though too.
Yeah.
Some
oh
people
man,
want to say, man,
my
look
ego
at
got the best of me too. You know, like,
Shit.
dude.
Yep.
yeah. I mean, it sounds like you know too. Yeah, it's the way it is, man. I mean, I remember. Okay, so another young company I built is during COVID. You know, everybody got into importing masks, right? And
It's crazy.
so
man.
that was
Hey, he
that
knows
was a
about
crazy
it.
thing. It was crazy, but you know, I basically learned conversational Chinese in like 30 days, right? So that I could be the one making the orders, and then I would wake up, and then I would be the one making sure that the orders were delivered, and then making the calls to the customers. And mind you, we had a team of like, I don't know, 10 people that were making sales too. And I was like, I need to be on every sales call. And a lot of that was that one, I was scared of like fraud, right? Not only from customers,
Oh, from the other side too.
but from the other side
Oh
too.
yeah, they definitely were. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, man, we lost like, I don't know, $600,000 or $700,000 in that process, you know? And yeah. I don't know if they can see me, but
No, not yet. We're gonna turn the cameras on in a second.
For real.
This is
Still-
getting good.
still
This,
angry.
what I forget is Parker's well he's been groomed to communicate,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
every now and then you find people that try to talk through
yeah.
kind of what they're good versus getting to the point. So even when you hear him use words like, oh, let me get cut to the point, be concise, all these things where you're framing it perfect. You go, this dude's good for camera. But even more importantly,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine where your future lands because of how much experience you have just in dealing with yourself.
Yeah.
I think rule number one in any entrepreneur is like, how do I manage myself and all these infrastructures? Because like you said, if I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and part of it's out of fear, right? You said,
Yeah.
damn, these fuckers are gonna get me. Because most people that cut a check, you're like, damn, where'd the $1 million go?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone. Well, wasn't we supposed to get this on it? Yeah, that's what they said. Well, the truck didn't come. Oh, fuck, the truck didn't even exist.
Dude.
Bro.
Yes.
Man.
Bro, Craig lost like 5 M's, dog.
I got one for you. 10.8.
Yeah.
See, but look, but Parker knows how crazy that time. But people were making fucking phenomenal money though.
Oh yeah, I lost my money after the COVID stuff. You know, that was a whole different experience and you know, very frustrating. I'm going to try to not get too tight about it. But yes, yeah, straight dude, you know, through COVID, it was crazy.
Bro, man,
No man's land is how I
it was
describe it. It was
crazy.
like the wild, wild west.
I thought dude was lying when he said he made 100 or their team made like 100 M's, bro. I was
Nah.
like, how is that possible?
Bruh.
Then like he goes some country, whatever the case may be, and I'm talking about a whole fucking warehouse of whatever mask at the time everybody
Yeah.
wanted. Then the hand sanitizer. Then Nolan, you know what I'm saying, my partner, my business partner, yo, he was getting in it, bro. I was like, damn, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So how fast? What's the hardest part about learning Mandarin?
All of it. It's so hard. Just
Thank
like
God for
from
Mike, man.
obviously the letters are different, right?
Completely, it's like hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like hieroglyphics, and they're very similar. So, fortunately, I didn't have to write anything. It was all typing and talking, right? But I'd say then the context.
Yeah.
So it's so far removed out of my brain now, but
At the time, boy, that
Yeah.
itch.
What did
Yeah.
you learn? What did you use to learn it?
I used Duolingo and then
shit.
YouTube.
Okay.
You too.
Dude, YouTube is hey man, you know what? Like I was like getting the phrases down, and really more for the context, and then also like Googling my short phrases that I needed to know.
Yeah,
And
like
then-
Google
yeah.
Translate.
Yeah, it was good. You know, it was really good.
I told you, YouTube University, bro.
YouTube,
Man.
yeah,
bro.
facts. And you know what? The reason it was so important to learn Mandarin in that one instance was that because there were so many other English speakers trying to build those relationships, me coming in, like trying to speak Mandarin, it was arbitrage. And at a time where like really the world was trying to figure this whole situation out,
Yeah.
it was just like one layer of the onion I was able to peel back, a big layer, obviously,
Absolutely.
so that I could then bond with these people and they would prioritize my orders or they would make sure that they get fulfilled for actually. And then it also, I also had I almost forgot. Shout out to Jennifer Wang. She definitely helped. She lives in Africa, but she was like my intermediary a lot of times to either help me find these people or to help me learn Chinese.
Word.
Yeah. And dude, she was so helpful. Yeah.
Man,
So,
That's huge.
so actually, let me put her at the top of the list for how I learned to use Chinese because I'm not going to give credit where it's due. She certainly helped.
So you know, we're gonna come back to more entrepreneurship, but what would be your best advice for like being an entrepreneur, especially since you kind of out of the space, but you're still in
Yeah.
the space?
You know what I would say is like the most successful ones that I see are really good at something, like awesome at something. One
Yeah.
thing, they are acutely aware of that one thing, so they are very self-aware, and then they are early on they know that they will have to bite the bullet and be operators even if they don't want to be.
Yeah.
Right. So I'd say that those three characteristics is like and that one, I think the latter speaks more to the character of like overcoming challenges that you know some people wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
So the perseverance, just the mental fortitude of being able to do things that maybe are out of the ordinary for who you are, but still having the knowledge, the know-how, and mental fortitude to lean on your merits, the things that you're good at, right?
Sheesh.
So it's this balancing act, man. It really is. But I'd say the most important thing is pick up that skill, pick up that one thing that you're super passionate about that will kind of just kind of shine out of you, right? You know, you've met people, and we all have, right? Where you meet them, and when you're done with that conversation, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they do, but whatever it is that they will do is going to be flipping awesome.
Great, yeah.
You know?
But that speaks to, you know, kind of like who you are as a person too. You're a pretty positive person, man.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes two ways to look at where you're sitting at when someone's highly informed. You
Yeah.
could feel less than, or you could feel more than, or you could be like yourself and feel, you know, it's like the same way. I'm like, dude, I'm glad I know that dude, man.
Yeah.
You could be like, damn, I'm glad we had that conversation, because you go, that motherfucker, or I might need him one day. You just never fucking know.
I think the trendy women around here call that small dick energy. You know, I have heard my wife use that a couple times.
You're just bringing all this small dick energy
Small
in here.
Facts.
Like they got little man syndrome.
Yeah, man. You know,
I'm tight about a nigga winning, huh?
yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, look, haters gonna hate, you know, and honestly, like I'm okay with that. But you know, whatever, dude, shit, hate on yourself, bro.
Hey, look, that makes sense. So now that you transitioned basically from entrepreneur to more investment, I got to watch an episode of Earn Your Leisure. I don't know if you've ever watched. Okay, so they had the guy who sold Vistaprint, black guy, $1 billion, and he was breaking down basically the stages of both, you know, what is venture capital? Because venture capital isn't necessarily, you're not an entrepreneur if you bringing up, you know, venture capital.
Yeah, you can't really do both. Yeah.
That part. So explain the difference now that you sit on the other side where you're analyzing business models and seeing where you could basically put some gasoline, be it money, but even more importantly, I'm guessing you come in and assist operationally as well.
Yeah, I think that when you're an entrepreneur trying to do venture capital at the same time, and I don't mean to discount anybody who's trying to do both, right? Maybe someone else has the mental capacity for it, but I certainly don't. But because what I found myself doing, the investments that I made during my time as an entrepreneur, when I was actively building, one, it distracted me from the things that I was doing, right? I felt like, you know, it was too much stimulation, right? Their ideas, I thought all of their ideas were good ideas, right? Because as a fellow entrepreneur, you're thinking like, I want to continuously grow. I want to put new ideas into my business and make my business improve, right? That makes sense. Like that's the right thought process, but it doesn't work unilaterally. Like it, you know, what worked in the trucking company that I invested in did not work in the laboratory that I had. Like those things are not mutually, you know, they don't go together. Yeah. And not to say that, you know, not to say that one is better than the other. They're not, but they just can't, like, there's not a lot of principles that can cross over, right? Not at the operational level, right?
Yeah.
And so, a lot of words, but I think that the biggest issue is that when you're in that entrepreneur role, and that's like your life and you're living, breathing, dying that, it's really hard to pull yourself out and not empathize with another entrepreneur, right? So that's why it's difficult to invest. So if you invest in something that's completely out of your realm, like real estate, like obviously that has very solid metrics, or if you're investing in stocks and bonds or whatever, like invest in that shit, please. Right. But when you're going venture capital or seed investing or whatever your vehicle is, you have to be able to pull yourself, you know, understand the entrepreneur. So empathize, but do not feel their feelings. Like I say that a lot. Right. And
that's some shit Kevin O'Leary would say.
Yeah.
I don't care. How do I make money?
Yeah.
This is not and he talked about it too. He's like, I gave a friend of mine basically $700,000 in 7 months because it was emotional.
Yeah.
And it's like it went to zero so fast, and you know, now we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. I went through a situation like this yesterday.
Damn.
Oh, you gave somebody $700,000?
No.
I was about to say, I was like, damn, bro.
As far as trying to connect dots, but one, instead of it being about the business, they were just so personable about what was going on.
No. It's, you know, I'll tell you this, and you get back to your thing.
Yeah.
I remember when I left the office that one time, I said, something, you know, Park, I might need your help. He says, he's like, send me the terms. And when he said that, it took me back to a moment with Dan, and I was like, fuck, I've not wrote up terms in so long, where this guy gave me $60,000. And I remember before I was a nigga where I had no clue. I told you guys, and I'm probably gonna do a sit down
Napkin math right here,
man. Say, but I think even more, I had no sense of the terms. like
Yeah.
what terms are, what does it mean to invest?
Yeah.
But he was like, so Trevor, what do I get if he was sitting like that? What do I get if I give you this? I said, well, what do you want? You know?
Everything. Yeah.
He was like, I don't know, whatever you want to give me, it's fine. I
Yeah.
said, but what if I can't get your money back? He said, that's okay. He said, when I make an investment, he said, I have to spend a certain amount of money a year anyway.
Yeah.
And he said, I can get it back as long as you're doing business. If you don't make money, I can write it off in a sense. He said, but I think you'll figure it out. And it was personal for him to a degree because
Yeah.
he was like, here this black kid is trying to figure out how to do, coin this idea. And I really just want to see him, succeed. But he didn't he didn't need the money, but mind you, I had a lot to learn.
Yeah. I would say, sorry, I felt myself leaning,
Yeah.
I've done enough exercise this week. I'm picking up kids and shit.
I know, no, get comfortable, bro. Whatever you need to do, get comfortable.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously like relationships like that get you in the door.
Yeah.
But if someone gives you money, unless it's a charity case, it's because you're a capable human.
No, hey, that
There you go.
look,
Or
guys.
you've done a good job at making them believe you are.
Hey, that is
Which
also
has happened to me. Like, as an investor, that has definitely happened to me, and that's kind of what I meant earlier. Is like you empathize, you think that they're doing everything right, just like you're doing everything right, or you're trying to. That does not apply universally either.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Trust me, I know, man.
Yeah.
Hey, well, and that was the point. I remember, like I said, I recorded the whole conversation. I posted it. Parker's me to some people because he thinks outside the box. I tell people have literally offered to give me money now since we grew every page. We've got a following, we got support, we've got subscript, we got some things to say. Okay, if we pour fuel on this now, we can get to here.
Yeah.
Because we're doubling down, and that's when you come back to him and others that we like. Even Jamal sitting here is probably gonna go into business with me and participate in an ownership of Pangea, which is the big boy. That's the one that sees and hears everything and changes the whole dog world. But fast forward, rewind, when I was getting back into the business space, just coming from shooting some videos, I went to this guy first, and my point is when I went to go talk to Parker, I was thinking to myself, who can I add to even a board setting that could keep me on the straight and narrow? Because until I really start focusing on the business side again, I got to figure out what's going on even,
Yeah.
How hard do you think at times it is to figure out what the business really is? You're doing all these things and you go, where's the money?
Yeah, no, I mean, fortunately for me, business modeling is like one of my strong suits. So, but yeah, like a lot of times that is a struggle for entrepreneurs. Is like, they're passionate about something and they don't see the money, right? For some things, I don't know if it's necessary to see the money early, right? When you're dealing in physical products, obviously it is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing in services or software, I think it's pretty easy to get into, free models or discounted delivery models.
Yeah.
So that you can get some market exposure and grab some customers. So anyway, a lot of words. I can get real technical when it comes to that.
Hey, look, man,
Yeah.
this is for
But,
the technicals, man. We want to make sure we capture. I sat back and you think, dang, that Earn Your Leisure one was really good with the old boy, and he was technical.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know what this nigga's talking about at some point.
Yeah.
But he can't be less than who he is
No, for sure.
when he's making it make sense to somebody who's listening that he needs to talk to.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one, but
I'll see it. Like, bro, it's a good one, and it's definitely super informative, and it was inspiring
Sure.
because you don't see enough of us sitting there at that $1 billion status.
hey man, it's true. I'm working on it. Yeah.
Making things make sense, but you're one of the people who I know for a fact if there was somebody who's gonna get there.
I appreciate that. Because
No.
I definitely I'm trying. Like it's crazy because I think that where I really visualized that it was a possibility was after I sold the first lab.
Yeah.
And then like hitting 9 figures in revenue was crazy. Like absolutely insane. When I tell you, like, I didn't think I deserved it. Right?
Oh shit. That's
Yeah.
that imposter syndrome.
It was
Yeah.
imposter
Yeah.
syndrome. It was crazy. And so then I was like, no, eventually I settled into it and I rested on my laurels for about 2 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, I was buying stuff I didn't need. I mean, like you name it, all the things that we buy when we get money, chains, cars, watches, houses,
His IG
Bottles.
is literally Watch Parker.
lots of bottles.
Lots of bottles.
Yeah. It was dumb. It was absolutely ridiculous. And so after
Did you
that,
regret any of it though?
A lot of it, yes. Yes, actually. Watches not so much because I am passionate about watches. But like the partying, I mean, like I've got kids, man. Like we could have all taken, and we took trips. Like we, that year, that same year that we sold, we had some awesome trips. Me and my wife, and my girlfriend at the time, but now wife, and we, so yeah, we had great memories. But like some of it, it's like, damn, like how did that night really wrap up with the headache?
Yep.
Like with
Feeling
a
like
headache,
shit the next day.
or me trying to coordinate my homeboys to get back to their hotel because you ain't sleeping here, bro. Like get out of here. Or like like just different stuff, and it's like, man, I don't know. I think I looked back on my quarterly credit card statements 1 month or 1 year, and it was like $200,000 in entertainment, and I was like, what the entertainment?
He was entertaining the fuck out of shit.
Boy, what?
Dude, we were taking trips to Miami like every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
And
do it.
then on top of that, like I would go without a suitcase.
Oh, he's one of those guys.
He just jumping on the plane and say, "Fuck, I'll get some shit when I'm there."
Yeah.
It was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. I'm there for 4 days. I'm spending $1,000 a day on clothes. Another $1,000 a day on food.
Yep.
I'm treating everybody.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
going crazy. We
Shit adds up
go.
quick.
There's 5 of us at the spot. I got 12 bottles. Like, why are we doing this?
Damn.
Like, nobody can drink this much. Like I get we would stay, or I say we, like I would go see my kids, my older kids, and so I would get a suite at East in Miami, and so they would have like their 2 or 3 bedroom suite, and more often than not I was getting the 3 bedroom so that I could like tuck the kids away, and then my buddies would come after they fall out, and then we'd all hang out, whatever, and it's like those rooms at that time, I don't know what they are now, but $3,000 a night,
Sheesh.
Like, what are we talking? Why are we doing this
That's a good question.
in Miami? Like, who am I showing out for? My kids? Like, why do we do this? So a lot of words. I'm sorry, but like,
You good, man?
you asked if I regretted it.
Yeah.
The reality is that I probably could have saved $2 million that year or those 18 months on not doing dumb shit.
Damn.
And then I would have been not infinitely, but I would have been able to turn that money into a lot of money. Like $2 million 5 years ago, today, man.
And mind you, when he says that,
Ridiculous.
he's not a guy that goes and push it in the bank. He's got some money in the bank, but he's like, yo, where can I make some money, some money,
Yeah.
so I can keep making some money. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've always been that way for sure. I think that's that's like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's I don't gamble, but that might be it, That might be it. I definitely I think it was Grant Cardone that said this a while ago. He's like, I go broke like twice a year, once or twice a year.
I've seen him. Yeah, he said that.
And I think you and I have talked about this
Yeah.
before, and it's true. Like, there's probably 1 or 2 times a year where I am so cash broke, where I'm like, damn, dog, like, I hope a check comes. Like, man, I'm hungry, man. Like, y'all said that a little sooner, please. Like, yeah.
But that's you also creating rules for yourself to keep pushing yourself because for one, Parker's got a background. You do motocross.
Yeah, I did BMX and motocross. Yeah.
Fire.
There you
Yeah.
go. And was a big guy. They're competitive. And I was telling a guy that I met the other day. He was like, I said, "What are you doing?" He's a consultant, helps Bill's restaurant, etc. And he just like he's got $25 million, right? But he goes, he just needs something to do. Like he can't
you
sit
go
home.
crazy.
He's 34 years old. He's like, I said, man, I just can't sit still. Like, what I'm supposed to do? I need something to keep my brain active and all this other
Yeah.
stuff, right? What's some of the tricks you use to keep your mind sharp, man? Is there anything people could do that you could think of that would assist in just preparing them potentially to be,
Yeah.
post entrepreneur and even like get into the venture space and how to prepare themselves to maybe make good decisions with smaller amounts of money, but enough to maybe participate? Because there's a lot of avenues nowadays where you could take, let's say a person got 10 bands
Yeah.
and potentially invest in a little something and then watch it grow or be a part of that growth too.
Oh, man, there's just so many ways I can take that conversation.
Yeah, man, we'll take it, bro. Look,
Well,
we're here to learn.
Personally, I spend time on things that are going to make me emotionally stronger. Right?
Yeah.
So, I used to spend like 3 hours in the gym. I realized that like my utility factor at the gym is really only like 60 minutes. Like after 60 minutes, I start to get mentally tired.
Man,
you know?
look,
Yep.
I ain't gonna cut you off, so get back to that. But he was the one that had some homies on that shit, and he comes to me, and he had never really done over 260 or something. And so in less than 90 days, he's up on all his lifts. He's like, niggas is thinking he play football now.
Not even fucking 200, bro. I never even went on the bench press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Why would I looked at it like, why would I have to?
Yeah, no, he was talking like, oh,
I don't know if y'all can
135.
see these other humans in here, but these are big dudes. I don't know what's up with this.
Bro.
How are y'all not benching 200? Like,
No,
I have
he
a
does.
jacket on. But
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I
bro.
told I was like,
no,
Parker
but
shredded,
before
bro.
this, you're huge. What are
You
you
have-
talking about?
You have no idea, though, man. You
La-
have no idea. Like,
Last night, one of the homies I met, I haven't seen him in like 4 years. The whole time he was talking to Cat, like, bro, do you know how skinny this guy was?
Oh, you were skinny?
Bro, it's shit.
Oh,
Skinny.
okay.
Skinny,
That makes
dog,
sense.
yeah.
So you've been eating because you don't look you not fat, but you definitely buff. Like,
Hey, man,
what are we talking about?
This entrepreneur life.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that's true.
but go ahead, my bad, man. Keep going. You said you talking about utility and just how you spend your time. Now, the 3 hours cutting down
Yeah.
to 60 minutes, being more efficient.
For sure. So, so the thing I would say that the general, that's an example of what I do with the rest of my time is like, where is my utility best
Yeah.
used, right? So, like you have the diminishing utility value. Everybody knows this. You learn it in like, I don't know, freaking grade school math. And so, what I look at is like, what is my time worth, right?
Yeah.
So if I carve my family out of it, because there's no value you can put on family time, right?
Yeah.
But there is a utility, like when you are going to be mentally exhausted or when you start to feel guilty for not working, et cetera. Like your limits, you set those limits. But outside of that, what's your time worth, right? And what's your money worth, right? Is your money worth 8%, 10%, 20%, 100%, right?
Yeah.
Where do you put it to get those things? What do you need to do to get the exposure to those investments or to those opportunities to invest in order to raise those points, right? Same thing with your dollars, right? Okay, so you've got 10 hours of the day that you want to allocate towards work things outside of your family and whatever rest and relaxation you have to do. How do you turn that from $100 to $120 to $125 an hour, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And I say that because it's really difficult to have discipline to say, oh well, I'm just going to go invest in some passive income and it's going to go from $1 an hour, and then in 5 years it might be $50 an hour, and it's like, that stuff is like long-term strategy for sure. It makes sense. Like do that if it works for you.
Yeah.
But for me, the thing that works for me is like, I know what my dollar value per hour was last year for the working hours that I was willing to put in.
Yeah.
And I'm now this year, I'm trying to increase it by a percentage. I know what my dollars earned me last year as far as like annualized interest.
Yeah.
And this year, I'm looking at if I'm going to invest. So my goal is every year $100,000 across 10 startups, right?
Yeah.
If I'm going to invest that money, how do I dial it up past what I did last year, right?
Yeah.
That is where I make and that waterfalls into every single decision that I make with my day. Okay, outside of family, right? And I say that obviously I have kids, so it's a super big disclaimer. I think a lot of people like get lost in the dollars and forget their family. You can do both, right?
Well, I mean, the beauty about being in a position of wealth is not having to go to work if you don't want to go to work that day. So even when you're sitting, it's like at 5 o'clock, I'm gonna be with my family. It's like, oh, kid woke up today, he wants to do such and such. Guess what?
Yeah.
We'll go to the park if he wants.
Yeah.
That was time that I can't get back, but it spent some time. Now I'm gonna go fucking work to maybe 9 o'clock tonight or whenever the job is done,
Yeah.
and then come back. There's another kid. Oh, I don't want to do this. Boom, you got the wealth and wherewithal to really make that decision and not be stressed about.
Yeah.
Let me get back to the family. I've been out all day.
Yeah, what's interesting though is that I wouldn't say that is a dollar amount, right? Like I wouldn't say that. I would say that having the ability to have that kind of flexibility is a mindset, right? And like, man, right now is like the time too, because how weird the market's been and how with inflation and the cost of goods, everything's been just so out of whack. People are like really uncomfortable and they feel out of control, right? But I really want to impress that you just fucking work harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had in one of the books he was going to call "Do More." It was going to be a "Do More" section.
For sure. Like I'm still very like hard on that, right? Like definitely use your time wisely and do the most you can with your time. But like there's no the idea of schedule flexibility all comes down to discipline, right? If you are willing to work at 1 o'clock in the morning, who cares, right? Just fucking do it. Like then you have the flexibility to go and see your kid do his recital at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday afternoon, on a Tuesday. Or, you want to take your kid to an early soccer practice. Okay, cool. But you just know you have to have the discipline to be up until 2 o'clock or whatever hour. Or if you're not in the morning, you're not a late night person in the morning, you got to be up at 5 a.m. and busting your ass, And that's where I'm at. That's the biggest change in me is like, I don't, you know what? Mr. Beast, I think, talked about this. Is like there's no set hours for work. Like who made that shit up?
Look, 9 to 5s is the most ridiculous thing. When people, I think the worst question a chick ever asked me, and Jamarcus knows because I'll react like a lunatic. hey, what did you do there? How was your day? Like, don't ever fucking ask me. The day's not fucking over. What the fuck are we talking about here? I said, it's still time on the clock. Anything could happen at any moment in time, and that's the beauty about this entrepreneur life, and anything really. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree with you 100%, and I think that just to impress on whoever's listening, right? Yeah. Is that discipline is your limiting factor, and your willingness to like apply that and work hard. Yeah. Right. Nobody cares. Like nobody cares if you work at 1 o'clock in the morning versus 1 o'clock in the afternoon, unless you have a customer that's depending on that, right? Then obviously you have to make accommodations, but in the reality, like the grand scheme of things, like enjoy your life and work hard. That's really all that anybody gives a shit about. Yeah. Look, again, there's no time frame on success, people. And there's no time frame on failure either. But if you are failing yourself, you can always do more. I mean, that's what it kind of goes back to. That's right. Do more. That's so funny. We just talked about that yesterday, bro. I was telling the homie, I was telling him about your concept on activity and in compounding that activity even. And you go, man, how active are you? Because, people sit around, wait on the couch. And I think we were somewhere the other day. And, I didn't say nothing, but Ma was there and it got in a circle. People wanted to do a prayer. And the guy said he prayed for finance. I'm like, when has God ever sent a check? I mean, that fucking COVID money got some niggas like, oh shit, the Lord is good. But in retrospect, you go, bro, you can't pray for finance. You better pray for a good idea and do some work, nigga. Yeah, facts. It's pretty crazy. Again, back to like the people feeling out of control. And I think that's just a visualization problem, right? Some people just can't visualize themselves being successful without some kind of successful without like a helping hand. Or, have you ever heard it is like rich people are evil, right? Or people with money are evil. And it's like, there are some of those for sure. Like I've definitely bumped into a handful of people. I'm like, man, you are crazy. Like you are. Yeah. I wouldn't touch you, kind of Grinch status. Right. But there are also truly brilliant people that operate at such a high level, at such excellence, that it makes sense why they're so good, Like I knew a guy once that had a janitorial company here in Dallas. It was like a $25 million company. Like, oh shit!
You know how many abuelas are scrubbing toilets for $25 an hour, and he's making $25 million. I'm sorry, come again. It's all about the mindset. Yeah. It's all about how you execute. It's all about. And it wasn't a who kind of thing for him. He built it from the ground up. What is the key, would you say, to execution then? Because I think that's where people get a little lost at times, and even more importantly, they get distracted with, because, entrepreneur, he can get fixated on this. It's like, bro, that's not the business. Yeah. This is the business, and you're executing in the wrong areas. Dude, yeah. I hope I didn't cut you off, but it goes back to the... And these are, I think, some of the intangibles that successful people won't talk about in a public setting. Is like measure your fucking time in dollars and cents, and then make decisions on that. Have the discipline. Like you have to condition your brain to be disciplined enough to do the things that you really want to do. And if you can't, be okay with, accept the fact that you're gonna be just a regular motherfucker. Yeah. Like, that's it. Like, you just go be regular, dog. Yeah. Now, if you don't have like I could use all the catchy phrases. If you ain't got that dog in you, you know what I'm saying? Like bro, like honestly,
Hey,
if
George.
you don't, yeah, right. If you don't have, if you can't have the discipline to sit down and figure out what your time is worth realistically, like I don't want to hear. Like I asked a group of guys the other day, and if you hear this, dog, like I'm talking about you. And he said, my time is worth $200 an hour. I'm like, bitch, you living at your mama's house. Shut the actual fuck up. And I'm sorry to get angry with, sorry about my language.
Bro,
Yeah.
because I told you, this is unfucking motivated, bro.
Unfiltered.
Unfiltered, bro.
Yeah.
I got
This is
into
real life shit we
No,
doing.
the whole purpose
Yeah.
of this, I told you, I was like, we're going to get to 500 plus episodes. I got them all. I think collectively, this is the first time in a long time I've had a group of people who character-wise,
Yeah.
how hard it is to be in a group of black men who can put their ego aside and really want what's best of people. So somebody talk money, I go talk to them all. Quit talking to me. and then Parker, mind you, he just told you he measures his time down to the dollars, cents, and pistols and nickels, and he's like, "Yo, I'll be there tomorrow 9:30 a.m."
Yeah.
And you go, as I said, a lot of people can't call this man, and then he drive 20. He sent me the map. 24 minutes over here to sit down and do the podcast. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get what I can out of him. Not saying I'll never see him again, but I tell you another thing about this guy. Gotta say this. He's different times when we've grown old, he's like, dude, keep killing it. You're killing it. I love watching you guys' growth. And that's it. That's it. And he's back to clearly killing everything he's doing. But you'll get that positive message from him, me personally, and be like, yo, I truly appreciate it because he's one of those people that I admire.
Dude, you know what? And shout out to y'all for real. Because I do remember when we first met and y'all, you had me do that damn video in Homeboy's gym.
Yeah.
Bro, I think he tore up my shoulder. Did you ever seen this video? He made me do this like twisting pull up.
Oh man.
Like why I like jumped in the air. What the hell? Anyway,
Some
at
American
that time,
Ninja Warrior shit.
Yeah, it was some American Ninja Warrior shit. Yeah, for sure. And at that time, like I know you were talking about developing a platform and doing all these things. And so for me, it's very, very rare. Well, I would say at that time it was very rare. And
It
no,
still is.
it is still rare.
What you mean?
Like I try to surround myself with people who do things, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I would say that it's a little less because at that time I was my exposure was limited to like shitheads. It was COVID time, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it was like not really a lot of people doing things. So yeah. Anyway, I don't want to dim the light on you.
No.
The fact is that you said you were going to do something, and even though it may look a little different than you probably envisioned at first, you did something. Like you did something, and it's still a work in progress. You're working every day. So shout out to you.
Hey, likewise, my friend, I can't thank you enough to even, have people like you that we can learn from, more importantly, connect with. And that's why, Maul's not normally up early. He's 10, 11 o'clock, and he was up a good portion of the night.
Yeah.
And so he's more of that night owl, can work through people's messages and, kill shit. But fast forward, I say, yo, my guy's coming tomorrow, man. We want to, I even told him, I said, even if you get up, just shake his hand, show face.
Yeah.
I said, we're going to kill this one.
I appreciate y'all, man.
I appreciate you,
Yeah,
man.
no, look, everybody's time's valuable. So as long as I can be helpful and y'all can help me, like we're all good.
Hey, and that's the point. So, mind you, I agree 100% with Parker. And I said, I got into it with a nigga once. I said, what your problem is, you ain't used to a nigga saying something and it coming to life.
That's true. A lot of people are not.
Yeah, and I said, I'm like a dog on a bone, bro. If I said it was going to work, it's not even a question. Now, many people in that, from where you were sitting too, I love, and Nigel, he didn't say, oh, it ain't never going to work. So he was like, oh, man, good luck. Hit you with that. And I appreciate that too, because we all need a little luck no matter what happens. But once I figured it out, I said, oh, it's over. It's fucking over, man.
For sure, man. It's interesting because I remember we talked about one of your ideas, and it didn't really resonate with me. Like, and you knew that. I was I'm very clear about those things.
You picked it apart, and
Yeah.
you made it actually make more sense so that it could resonate with many more.
Yeah, and so but that doesn't mean all the time. And I talk to entrepreneurs all the time, and I have those situations where it's like sometimes it's super clear to me, right, what the business modeling is, and based on how it's described to me, right? And sometimes it's like I will have to redirect the conversation a little bit, not because I'm smarter than, but just because you have not given me enough clarity, right? And if we can't get there, my attitude is always like, they may be smarter than me. And a lot of times the answer is they are, right?
Ah.
And so, and maybe not globally in a lot of other things, but but in the things that they're good at versus the things that I'm good at, like
Yeah.
there's no better or worse. It's just that, again, that's what comes with being an entrepreneur, being so hyper focused on the things that you're good at or the things that you're passionate about. Like not everybody's going to see that vision, and by being able to persevere and kind of push through it, that's what it's all about.
I'll be very clear in saying part of me continue to build this idea is because I know, fast forward, if I'm able to do this brand idea, right, that I'm able to freak that brand and then come back, Parker's the guy you want on your board, and even, like I said, invested interest, because there's going to be things that I don't see that he's more advanced and equipped with in dealing. So we talked about some wellness center for dogs, right? He was like, just call it a daycare because those things stay full. People always dropping the dogs off, put it in the right area. I go, that makes sense.
Yeah.
As some grand doctor facility type wellness, he's like, just do a daycare, man.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. Then you could have a wellness component that you can upsell, which makes even more sense because then it turns into a gym type thing where we collect data. Guess what? He understands blood, diagnostic, such and such. Now imagine if that was done for dogs and we was able to store that, etc. Shit that we discussed. And he already knew. He knows a lot of legislation stuff, and fine tuning some of those things, it could become very interesting.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, that just so happened to be like pretty close to my wheelhouse. So yeah, I was able to give you a little more than you probably bargained for.
No, that's why I came to you. You don't reach out to go get a bargain. I reached out so I can get a deal. And in doing that, you say,
that's
hey,
so funny.
Poke these holes and draw perspective. Help me make it make sense.
Yeah, and to your point, right? So for entrepreneurs out there, don't get discouraged in that sense. And I know you weren't, right?
No,
you
I was
seemed
inspired.
You left the conversation in pretty good spirits. But the one thing that I would say is that when know what you're doing, right? Like when you're going out there to create a new market, right?
Yeah.
You have to realize the investment that is going to go behind that. So by approaching it as a wellness center for dogs, you are creating a whole new market.
Yeah.
Right? And that investment is very different than if you were just to go and arbitrage that opportunity or those services through a different vehicle, right? So as an example, instead of going wellness center for dogs, call it a daycare and then upsell those services. Well, everybody knows what a doggy daycare is.
Yeah.
Everybody
simplify.
knows that. And then if you can upsell it by being maybe a little bit higher priced because you offer that to everybody or whatever, that makes sense. Think about the protein company called Momentous. Is that what it's called?
I know. I can see it in my head.
Perfect example, right? Everybody knows protein. And so they were able to come in and just crazy high ingredients, right? Crazy high ingredients. But if they would have named it something else, like just something super complicated, because it probably is more than protein, honestly. Like the ingredients that are in it and the minerals and vitamins that it offers, if they named it something based off their scientific, research and all the components, nobody would touch it, right? But they called it protein. And they called it such high grade protein that it still offers all the things that you were talking about, right? That they were going to name it before.
Just more.
The name's different.
Yeah.
Right? And the function's a little bit different. So
No. Trust me, bro. When you put in perspective on it, I mean, it makes the utmost sense, especially to simplify how you get that customer. And even going back to at the time, I had no clue who Mr. Beast was. So you think about a Beast Burger, and now we've got this Fit Bully, and then we've got
insane.
And then you go, okay, so now guess what? You don't know this, but we was at, let's say, Beast of the East out in Virginia. Grown 40-something-year-old men who've watched me on YouTube in various places. They're like, yo, I drove 10 hours just to shake your hand. They're looking for me. There's a person, 56-year-old woman out of Keller. Or was it Colleen?
Colleen, yep.
She was on our flight. She says, oh, shit, I can't believe that's Jamarcus, that's Stan, that's Trevor. And we didn't know who she was. I was like, oh, shit, I think that's Edith. We've got a community of people now. I said, what brought you to the show? She said, because on YouTube, you say everybody need to go to the show. I was like this. I said, guys, we're on the fucking something, right? 50 people wanted to take pictures and videos with me at the ABKC Nationals 2 years ago. I'm in the same ring recording. Nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
And
it's all about the work, man.
So fast forward, we do this brand thing, right? It don't have to be this new idea. It's like, Fit Bully Kennels now has a doggy daycare. They're like, yo, everybody got to take your dog's finna get his whole life in the change if he go easy. it levels the playing field. We no longer play.
Yeah.
We definitely plan to win.
No, it's interesting. I think that, obviously having a platform is a great way to do things.
Yeah.
Especially if you're using personalities and personal brand to put that out there. So, yeah, I mean, especially in this space where, the world is changing, right? So everybody can go to their doctor and get information on health, or go to their vet and get information on their pets, right? But like the real change is happening at the social level, right? And so it's people who are informed, who are doing the research kind of adjacent to conventional study,
Yeah.
and trialing and testing, kind of like what you're doing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so that then offers a brand new opportunity to be like special, right?
yeah.
And then create this brand. Like, you're gonna be the next dog whisperer, right?
Yeah.
But like, you don't have to go on Oprah. Like, that's how good it is right now.
That's
right.
Those are, hey, look.
You know what I mean? Like,
everything
we're all in the age group where like the influential people of our time, of our upbringing, where they had to go on Oprah, they had to go on all these different shows.
Oh yeah.
The news, they were on the news. Like, who gives? Like,
Nobody
now,
watching the news.
Look, nobody. And so now we've got social media, and in these 30-second clips or 1-minute clips, you are really like able to change perspective if you do it at scale. So look, keep it up.
Hey, look, I tell people all the time, social media lends a level playing field. You don't have to go. I said, think about it like this. There might not be 1,000 people who walked into CVS today, but there was 1,000 people who saw this video, and that in itself speaks volume. Even when we was at the show, a dude from Trinidad, he's like 43, he says, hey, Bridger, and he said, you don't know nobody here? I said, no. I said, for what? And he was like, well, I thought you'd come out. I said, no, bro, I came because Chris asked me to shoot the thing. So I pulled up a video. And at this time, I didn't even know Instagram had watch hours, right? I said, look, I posted Chris's dog, which nobody knows, Roy. I posted him on my page just 3 hours ago. In 3 hours, that fucking thing on Instagram has 50,000 views. I said, there ain't 50,000 people here, bro. I said, I'm more beneficial. I serve the community even better online.
Yeah.
Me showing up at the event, that's a fucking privilege. I got to turn that into a thing. But I said, the last 3 posts did 10 to fucking 40,000 views. I said, do you know 40,000 people? Because I don't.
Yeah.
I said, being here, knowing these people is cool, but scaling, you're still thinking like, oh, I got to be seen. I want to shake hands with, fuck these people.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I said, and they're not, none of them bad people. I appreciate everybody who came and said hello. But in real time, we're thinking, how do we leverage the web? And, I think, I hate to say it all the times, but Kim Kardashian has probably done it one of the best ways possible. Her family's been on TV for 10 plus years. She didn't call a team and say we want to put Skim. She called fucking the fucking basketball commissioner and partnered with the whole NBA to get them fucking some goddamn Under Armour. You're like, damn, why didn't Under Armour do this? Why didn't Nike do this?
Wait, they got the basketball players wearing Skims?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No cap. Good on her, because my wife bought me some of those underwear. Boy, ball cuppers. Let me tell you, them things is comfortable.
So it is true.
Yes, unbelievable.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
I don't wear the cotton Johns. I wear the like sliders. Yeah,
I gotta
See
check
those-
those out, man.
And now I gotta get some.
Those are ball cuppers.
lit.
man.
They are undefeated, dog. Like, I wear I've always worn like Nike Tech underwear.
Yeah.
And those are cool. These, if you've ever worn like those Nike Tech underwear that are not like compression short sliders, but like pretty close,
Yeah,
what I'm talking
That's
about?
what I'm wearing right now.
Yeah. Hey, same. I'm actually got my Jones on. Like, they're like, I got stacks of them, but those Skims ones are better.
Damn.
Damn. So,
Go ahead and order some.
I know, man.
Look,
No
look.
cap. I don't know how much
Birthday's
you spent on them. Yeah. Thank you.
But that's my point. So I was telling them, I said, look, visibility, self-promotion is definitely key, but think about how she's killing it from a business standpoint. Whether you like her or not, she keeps making moves that you can't make because she's more important than your ass at the end of the day.
Yeah. Here's what I would say, though. This is very important to this. And anybody watching who does have a following, or who, looks to grow a following, is that execution is key.
Oh, man.
You know what? The reason, because if there are other influencers who have made their attempts, right?
They even tried the sex tape route. You said, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah, right. And so as they launch products, if they are poorly executed, and I mean in any any way
Yeah.
to a degree like that doesn't make sense for their scale, they will get picked apart, and it'll be the last product they ever deploy. So, or or they struggle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I will give, man, it's tough. Like Mr. Beast and Kim Kardashian, like
Oh, yeah.
these are two examples of people who, in my opinion, just if you step back from like the personality and look at the business execution, they're second to none, right?
I study. I've definitely jumped on the Mr. Beast train because I go, this guy, he came out of nowhere. It seems like, but then he goes back and says, "The fuck, guys." He said, "I can tell you what minute shit's gonna drop if I don't do this." Like this guy,
He's so good.
Hey,
Dude.
the metric system for where you're looking, hey, where's my cent and dollar worth? He looked at it from YouTube. Where's my time worth? And how do we optimize visibility, fun? I mean, it's nuts what he's doing, man.
Dude.
And even crazier, get this. You saw that he actually went over to Africa and dug them drains and stuff. There was an African dude says, your parliament come here. And he was like, they tell you going to do all this thing. And they take a picture with a shovel. A white boy, Jimmy, come. He said, actually dig holes, put water, running water, such and such. And people are mad at him because he did what he said he was going to do and didn't ask for nobody. He didn't ask for cameras. And he didn't even record it. It's not an episode, I don't believe.
I think it is.
It is.
It is. Okay, that's even better than, and mind you, people, the good and the bad, it should all be aired. I tell people, I recorded off my Osmo. I said, if you're doing good and you have the means to do good, there are going to be some people hate. Guess what? They hate that they can't do good for somebody.
Yeah.
And would never do good for themselves. But I appreciate watching Mr. Beast because I think genuinely, sincerely in there, he don't got gold chains or nothing. He has 100,000 square foot place where they shoot videos. And I think
He lives there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he actually is just having fun. And what better way to have fun? It's a Samuel Jackson. You ever gonna get an Oscar? He said, I don't want to do them kind of fucking movies. He said, you like every movie I watch, I want to have fucking a blast. I want to blow some shit up. I want to talk some shit. You know what I mean? Like that's the role he wants to play. And you think about it. Okay, this nigga started playing a crackhead, and from the crackhead to a main character, he's never folded.
Killer.
He just want to have a good time.
Yeah.
Nigga got no acting range. He don't change his voice, but none outside of Django.
Outside of saying motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The thing I would say is one thing that they all have in common is they know themselves.
Yeah.
And they know what they're passionate about. They know what they're good at. And that is so key, man. And it takes some people figure it out really early. It took me a long ass time, I think, people today are really fortunate to have as much information as we do available at our fingertips if we use it wisely, right? We can watch other people make the mistakes that we don't want to make, or get the lessons that we couldn't ordinarily get. And so it's man, I mean, it is the best time to, I think, in my opinion, to find opportunity and make wealth, build wealth.
Yeah.
But also, I see the other side, which people are like, oh man, well, the government this, inflation that. And apples $3. Yeah, well, take your ass to Aldi, bitch. It's cheaper there.
Thanks.
Stop going to Central Market. Sorry, that's my little tip because I was literally complaining. I was like, "Damn, apples literally $3." And then I got in my head. I was like, "You broke bitch! Like, why are you complaining about fruit?"
So look, there's two
So
things.
it's symptomatic of everybody. Sorry, everybody experiences it, like self-doubt, and
never
then like
met-
that confusion, right? Is there for everybody, but like it goes back to the discipline, right? Knowing yourself, knowing what you can do, and if you can't do it, then practice it and do better the next time.
Yeah.
There you go.
100 reps bare minimum. That's just to believe in yourself,
Yeah.
or to see like, is this the right way, or is
Yeah.
this a good? And then you got to maybe have to shift or pivot in a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
And then keep moving. So if you were going to maybe give them some words of advice, we've got 2 questions. We'll close this one out. Guys, in the next one, I know Parker's an advocate as well for mental health.
Yeah.
And even like the therapy thing. So that's the other one I definitely want to.
Sure, yeah, I'm happy to talk about that stuff.
But if you're going to give them just some advice on, potentially acquiring wealth and what wealth means to you, what would be, some of that advice?
Hey, man. Okay, so stay out of debt as much as possible, right? Unless it's like value-added debt,
Yeah.
buying a house, right? That's kind of the only value-added debt I can think of. Buying homes or a business, if you can get it at a good deal. But beyond that is discipline. And I think even more than staying out of debt is discipline, because discipline rolls down and can affect everything from, taking action, staying out of debt, to, you know, picking the right relationships, which we'll talk about a little bit, to, you know, just being the right mental space, digging yourself out of dark spaces, just everything that you're struggling with right now as an entrepreneur, as an existing entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, or, you know, someone who wants to build wealth. It all comes down to discipline.
Yeah.
You don't have money, build a plan, execute the plan, stay disciplined. You got money, you want more money? Same answer, right? Like, it doesn't really change across the spectrum, and we can get into the nitty gritty, and I do offer that. So, as a little plug, like something that I'm doing right now is with my close friends, I offer a mastermind.
Okay.
Like we're doing like a 2024 goals mastermind. And it's like a free like thing. Like I'm just literally doing it because I want to see the people I care about excel, right? And the goal is
That's awesome.
the goal.
Yeah, I just
is,
thought about. I was invited to one time. I said no, I'm good. The dude was one of the guy who runs Walt Disney. And somebody's like, Tiff, I just want you to sit on. I was like, I ain't got that kind of time with it today, man. But next time.
And the premise is like, you know, if we all set our goals. So like I've set some goals that are relatively soft this year because new baby, right? Yeah. But also like this is my first full year of like full-time investing, right? So my goal's a little softer. Not that that's an excuse. I should certainly not have an excuse, but I'm also in a little bit of a different place, like in my life, right?
Hey, that's again beautiful thing to have the pace, the ability. I think from a man's standpoint, even to really invest your time with not having to be gone 365 days, and be there with the baby and assist with the wife and managing the family.
Yeah, and so what I would say, like just bring it all together, is that, you know, if you can find a good group of friends or a good group of people, and you can hold each other accountable, and, you know, set your goals and reverse engineer the activity, right? Reverse engineer the activity, and this is just standard shit, but I'm going to repeat it again in case it resonates with somebody.
Yeah.
And you know what I say about that is condense it down into a 1 quarter period. Your 12-month goals, once you build that activity, bring it all down in 90 days.
Yeah.
Right? Do all that shit that you said you were going to do in a year in 90 days.
Ooh.
Yes.
There you go.
And I can guarantee you that if you do it again the next 90 days and the next, you will hit or exceed your goals.
That's fucking
Damn,
hilarious,
that's huge.
man.
That's huge.
Dude.
Damn.
But that goes back to discipline, people.
Yep.
I like the word
Discipline.
because you know it's funny when people say, "Hey, how do you discipline your dog?" I said, "Well, how disciplined are you?"
Yeah.
Because you go.
Yes.
Dude, are you asking, "Hey, how do you get your dog to do something?" No, am I beating my dog's ass? That's not how this works.
No,
the
man.
discipline is keeping him on a routine, training him, getting him out, feeding him. He needs to know that you give a shit from the minute he wakes up, you go to bed, just like having a kid. You just gotta take care of that motherfucker every day. So when you ask about when he says discipline, that's one of, I won't say it's an annoying question, but when people always, especially you got these hard-headed, aggressive type breeds, you go, "Hey, how do you discipline this nigga?" You don't. He's an independent thinker. You manage him and make sure that he don't go and terrorize somebody else. But he needs to know that he has his day is organized, right?
Yeah.
So that he's calm. He's cool.
Yeah.
He knows he gets to go be himself a little bit. And so for us, you know, we'll put the thing up, let him chew on the tree for 30, 40 minutes. And guess what? He come back. He goes in the room right now, dead sleep. It'd be balls up half the day. But if I went out there right now and grabbed a pillow, he'd lose his shit.
Yep.
The discipline to stay consistent.
Yeah.
So I really do love that word. I think it's misappropriated at times.
For sure.
Definitely in our culture, to be clear, because the first time we learned discipline is somebody hitting us with something versus someone saying, "Hey, you know what? You fucked up. Let's go run 2 miles."
Yeah.
Let's go. Hey, matter of fact, you got to be. I tell him my dad had me at the table at 5 a.m. reading geometry. So you understand geometry is all vocabulary, right? He said, so at 5 o'clock in the morning, and guess what? He had the discipline to come over one time, and I was still in the bed. He said, don't be at that table at 5 a.m. the next time. I'm like, this nigga, I can't take that chance. So,
That's funny.
but go ahead, man. So those are your 3 things you would encourage them to do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I think it all comes down to discipline, period, right? And like desensitize yourself from the pain that comes with accountability, right?
That'd be what we go tap into
There you go.
to the mental health, because you put accountability on the table. 9, 10 of you niggas, you can't eat it. My papa said this. He taught me, he says, Trev.
Go back to the pawpaws.
Hey,
This shit is real though.
Hey, he said at the 10 people, 12 years old, he said clarity is the most important thing between 2 men. And I didn't understand it until I got older. But, you know, I just tell the truth.
Yeah.
And it makes people uncomfortable because if I don't like you, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go out of my way, but like, Like, bro, I don't want to talk to you no more.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, well, I'm like, you're not that smart. You know,
Yeah.
and mind you, I'm not saying it from an educational standpoint. I could tell very quickly that this person lives in a state of character that I don't want to be involved
Right.
in. You know, I don't want to deal with the pride and the
Yeah.
ego and the envy and the jealousy. I'm not motivated by those things. I'm literally motivated by positivity, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And you go, I love this. I love when there's a positive exchange of information and energy, and nobody's beating on their chest.
For sure.
It's pure like, yo, guys, be better.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's interesting, you know, like, you know, discipline and accountability is so important. And I hate to just be so generic in that sense, but
It's that simple though.
it is
really
that
is.
it really is, you know,
It's not
if
generic. It's simple.
if people can wrap their heads around that, I think that we can all get a lot further ahead, you know.
So one of the things that we're implementing, even for Jamarcus this year, is he's had trouble at times finishing things, right? And part of it,
Same, dog. I mean, I can make babies, but that's about all I
Trust me,
can.
you know.
But like, honestly, I mean, why y'all got the light skins on the couch?
I was thinking too. I was like, yo, we got the light skins over here, the chocolate brothers over there, bro.
hey, look.
Hey, dang, they set us up.
I know, right?
They get your fertile asses over there.
Exactly. I even asked him before. I was like, yo, where you gonna sit? He was like, yo, you gonna sit over there. All right.
But you go, you know, when you're looking at accountability, you say, what are the tasks? How do you complete these things? And then I told him, I said, you need to get a journal so you can document this.
Yeah.
Because this turned
Yep.
into a memoir. And if we keep building your brand, it becomes leverageable. And that thing could be something somebody follows to the T just in what you're doing with the dogs. Because he coming to the dog space, he don't have a tenth of my experience, Chris Moore's, or Ruben's. And we've got well over 10,000 hours in dogs.
Bro,
So
50
when-
plus years.
So when you know, Parker's like, you know, find your thing that, you know, kind of motivates you. I said, listen, I think I'm looking at what they're doing with the dogs. Nobody can do this better than me. And the two people I know that are smarter than me, guess what? I found them. I said, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna find the smartest people when it comes to dogs. I found them. And then when you find them, they don't know business. So I said, bet I'm gonna leverage their everything that they know, and then I'm gonna repurpose it while also read, because I'm relatively smart, and teach people and see if this matters.
Yeah. So I just saw the painting on the corner of my eye. Yeah, no, it's true.
Hey, we'll talk about that on camera.
Exactly.
But
true.
look. So we got to ask us the last question that we ask everybody: what keeps you motivated, man? That's kind of the premise of this. Unmotivated, and we got to ask what keeps you motivated, because clearly you're motivated,
You want the real answer?
man. Always,
Absolutely.
Money. Like it's very cliche, obviously, but if I, you know, that's just me being a high level thinker, right?
Yeah.
If I break that down, it comes down to like the experiences that I can have with having more money. So
Of course,
you know, like one of the goals I set this year is I want to take all my kids and we want to go spend a month in Spain, right? And the reason that is that my goal for next year will be, and I'm already thinking about this, is to buy a house in Spain,
oh shit,
right? And then the goal after that, and I was talking to my buddy about this, and he's a different breed, but I said, look, you know, the end goal is to have my house and have a big ass boat in Spain.
Sardinia.
No, into Mallorca.
Okay,
Yeah. And so, you know, I say all that because like money is the motivating factor for all of us.
Yeah.
Right. But then it really is important to dissect why it is important.
oh yeah,
You know, some people are at different stages. Like, so before I had kids, money was important so I could go to school. Right. Money was important so I could complete my training in certain things,
Yeah.
or to have different experiences that would make me more worldly, right? Now it's important because, you know, I've got 5 fucking kids, you know, and I want them to have awesome experiences.
yeah,
It's important because I want to buy more rental houses. It's
Yeah.
important because I want to have better experiences. I want to make sure that, you know, like, I just want to be good, you know? So like there's so many things. And so I say that I went through that exercise with you just now,
Yeah.
so that other people can kind of visualize for themselves, like, okay, like, cause other people will answer that same thing. Money. Oh, I want money. Right. Well, okay, we'll quantify it. Right. Like, so I'm going to save 10% more than I did last year. Right. I'm going to take a month-long trip to Spain with my family. That's 7 of us, by the way. And shit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fuckers to coordinate to go overseas for a month. I'm going to invest $10,000 a month into one new. Well, not I wouldn't say a month, but at least 12 new startups.
Yeah.
At between $10,000 and $20,000 each. Okay, and then what was my other goal? Oh, buy 10 more houses. Okay, so but what does that all roll up to? Money, right? So that's what I again, the point is like if you answer something generic like that, you really have to ask yourself the second level question, which is, but why, right?
Yeah.
And those are my whys, right? Travel, houses, investments, etc. Those are all my things.
Yeah. Guys, listen, I can't thank him enough for stopping by and, giving us some good information, man. As I said before, I think this podcast is going to work because Marlon and I get into topics. I'm going to get into some, one-on-one topics. I love Parker came over because this is a topic in itself. High-level earner, entrepreneur, thinker, and most importantly, a guy who's got some values, man.
Yeah,
Some
appreciate
fucking
that.
values that he can share with you guys, and I hope it continues to inspire you to do a little bit more because you have this big thing, and Jamarcus and them that know me, I had one goal last year. I said you guys set up all these fucking goals and didn't do one thing, objectively. But here's what I said. I said, could I master a way to communicate that interests people in what we're doing? And
Yeah.
basically, could I teach people how to take care of the dogs in the simplest way and just see if it's something here? And guess what? Me getting up every
working.
day, 3 times a day, posting, if not more, depending on what platform, and doing the work on YouTube, Instagram, and it's funny because some people are like, "Oh man, I didn't know we got 600,000 there, 1 million there, 188 or 85 or 3 on IG." They go, "Bro, you're all over the place," and I have to say it different every time because each platform lends a different type of communication. And then I bought the Osmos so you can see stuff like this. You say, well, what goes on when the camera's not on? Guess what? Now we're vlogging. And from there, giving you a whole other perspective of moments like this where cameras go off, but, we get these clips.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, people.
Shout out to you, man. You too, man. Like I remember when I met this guy.
He asked twice about you yesterday. He said, so but what about the light-skinned cat? You still fuck with him, right?
Yeah, I did. I did because I remember when I first met you, you have no goddamn followers on Instagram.
Bro, nothing, man.
And I don't really know what you were doing. Like you were obviously good with the camera work. Like so let me put that out there. He wasn't like nothing. He was definitely established with the camera work.
Yeah.
But you were interested in the dogs, and jumping into that, I think that's awesome. And so it goes back to like passion and hard work beats talent 100% of the time.
Period, people.
Yep.
And,
Yes.
And
Thanks,
it's
man.
not a talent if you don't work at it, to be clear.
Yep.
And my talent, and I said, is communication. And I love Parker for that as well, because I'm telling you, if you can't comprehend how simple he just broke things down, and he told stories, he dialed it back, he made it concise, he drew perspective almost in everything that he was communicating.
Yeah.
If you can't embrace this, then you probably got a longer journey ahead of you than you think.
You need some milk.
Guys, stay tuned. Next episode, we'll be talking about therapy and just, communicating more effectively and the things that we all go through and having friends, support system. Parker, thank you so much, my friend.
Sure,
Thank you,
man.
man.
Yeah, for sure.